What's going on, everybody? If you are here, type in the chat and tell me your favorite color vehicle. I think the most favoritist color of vehicle that I've seen when I wasn't expecting it was a orange creamsicle Jeep. That was very interesting to behold at random. If you are seeing this in the future times, welcome to you too. Mainly, today is nearly 3 weeks from when I announced that we were gonna do the Devin Nash challenge. And in that time frame, it is a good time to do a monthly review specifically. Even though technically next week would be the monthly review, we're gonna do it today. Because I'm gonna be out of town next week. Today it has to be. So that being said, we are going to do a review of the challenge to see if we're on track. When I say we, I mean me. And to assess how the progress is going, if we need to do any adjustments in our strategy or approach, and all that stuff. I'm going to pull up document here, our good old app Notion, everybody's favorite note-taking super device. This was our document to review, and you see here I have here a reminder to review on yesterday. So the challenge was get 1 million subscribers on YouTube, specifically on the Indescribable Industries channel, and get 10,000 combined revenue from Indescribable Industries business efforts. This is monthly. I'm going to add that monthly revenue. So that's already something I needed to adjust there. So the challenge attainable, we were looking at our target audience, and if you remember a couple of streams back, we actually did a closer or nearer deep dive into our target audience. And while I wouldn't say that the results were surprising, the results were muddied, would be my my take on that. And so I don't know if I want Notion users to be considered part of my target audience, because in my mind, I think that a lot of people should be using Notion, and a lot of people already are using Notion. So I really think that the people interested or the target audience that I myself am pursuing are people that are looking for less instructional content and more casual content. Muddied in a way where the results that I found were kind of all over the place. There was one channel that we looked at that was like he's building a business out of China, and his content creation was somewhere between a travel vlog and a business vlog, very much in the Casey Neistat vlogging style, which is kind of going out now. Now things are a lot more casual, and really I'm looking to create content in the vlogging style for a vlogging audience rather than a high energy situation, if that makes sense, where I want to be a contributing factor to other entrepreneurs that are doing stuff and things, and not necessarily seeking a lot of entertainment. The value proposition is a little weird when you get into it, because it is also somewhat of a record, but also like, hey, I think this is important, I want to talk about it. Like last week's stream, we did the 3 quotes, and I'm actually wearing the headphones now that we researched and purchased as a result of that stream. And so I don't really see Notion users as a part of my target audience. In fact, I'm going to do a strike through on that. The reason I'm not deleting it is because Notion users I'm a Notion user myself, and I talk about Notion, and I think Notion's great. I think a lot more people should be using Notion, but I recognize, it's not the end all be all. It's just one of the locations I like to focus on for productivity, but that doesn't necessarily make it part of what I'm going to be talking about constantly or appealing to. I feel like Notion users are, that market is looking for new features. How do I use this feature? This, that, and the other. Whereas I'm here to make Notion templates. I'll give away some of them. I'll sell others. But more actively, I want to be talking about digital media, creating digital media, entrepreneurship and its challenges, you know, what I did this week, that kind of thing. And so Notion users really doesn't fall into that category. Notion's just a means to an end in terms of some of my products. So really, they're not the target demographic there. And I think if you showed my content to Notion users, they wouldn't necessarily be excited to watch it, right? So from that instance, that means that Thomas Frank isn't necessarily in my doesn't belong on this list. Corridor Crew, I think, is an excellent example. I would love to make more stuff in the style of Corridor Crew, where they are doing experimental things and talking about how they're doing it. And I like that idea. Jason Lee is in the middle, where he's talking about, oh, this is what you can do with entrepreneurship. This is an opportunity that entrepreneurs have. And I like that style as well. The target audience I'm looking for is more people that are entertained by vlogs. I don't know who those are, but entrepreneurs and digital media creation enthusiasts, I think, are definitely more along the lines of what I want to target, which means I should be researching Corridor Crew a lot more. And rolling with that. So my time frame. Right now, we're 1 month in, right? And I haven't seen a whole lot of growth in any particular area, either subscribers or in monthly revenue from just digital goods or goods that the company sells. What I'm looking for is like clothing sales, right? Digital sales, Patreon support, right? That sort of thing. Now I am only a month in. That means I've only published 3 videos about these things. So on that effort on front, to be honest, I'm not too surprised. I think at this point in time, I'm in the sweat equity phase. You know, this is a side hustle. I haven't advanced into a solopreneur, even though I already have a team, right? We'll talk about that here in a second. But we're not at that point yet. I know for the shop, for the clothing, the thing is there. I'm just gonna have to start producing the designs and then putting them on different things. The cool thing about Printify is that you can repurpose designs onto other things. Like say you wanted the digital painting I did of the Lady of the Mountain on the Printify store to be on a phone case. Pretty easy, right? And I'll probably list that. The downside is I actually went on there to buy a phone case for my wife, and they didn't have our phone brand in there. They didn't have Pixels, because we have Pixels. They only had Galaxies and iPhones. I was like, well, all right. Every manufacturer is different on Printify, so I get that, but it was a little disappointing because Pixel isn't exactly uncommon, but it is what it is. The time frame I still think is doable, very much so. It just means that I really need to stick to my goal here in creating the new products, but also keeping up with the written item. So the video a week thing in terms of the 2 videos a week, one for Johnny Ash and one for Indescribable Industries. I've been keeping up with the Indescribable Industries one. The Johnny Ash one is actually taking more effort and it is getting more views. My video on Phoenix Wright did get like 200 something views, which is pretty small, but it's the best video I've ever done like that. So that was encouraging. And my wife liked it, which was really encouraging. But I think that this is not top of funnel in terms of combined efforts, and it's not contributing to this. In fact, the Johnny Osh thing here, if anything, contributes more to digital media creation because I like making that content, but it's not converting into anything else. Now, I think I mentioned Patreon in here, so I might just need to keep talking about Patreon or something in these videos to justify them. Either the way I went about making this video wasn't efficient in terms of my effort, because there were a lot of frustrations with making this, that I either need to find a way to streamline that kind of process, which is what every entrepreneur is looking for, is a way to streamline things, but also a way to what's the word I'm looking for? A way to just make it more fun all the way through the creative process, where my imagination isn't stifled behind this is taking forever to load. It's just really in video editing where a lot of things end up. As an entrepreneur, and I think a lot of people think like this, some days you need to set aside to explore, and the rest of the time that isn't that time for exploring, you're just getting the job done. Like yesterday, I set some time aside to explore the new Notion formulas, which are incredibly powerful. The new Notion formulas and formula automation is amazing, but it took me a long time to get what I wanted. Like it was like 2 o'clock in the morning by the time I finally was like, yep, this is at a place where I can go to sleep. And then I still had changes to make today. However, I was able to automate something incredibly to my liking, so I was very happy with it. Spawn says, I'm waiting until after the holidays to start pushing out content, as I'm working 6 days a week right now until after the holiday rush. But my content plans are video documentaries supplemented with reaction videos. On streamlining the reaction videos are simple because I can pull an Asma Gold and stream the reaction and then cut them out and upload them to YouTube. Exactly. Whenever you're streaming, like I'm recording this right now, right? That's why into my strategy, I have a one long stream a week right now. That might become more, it might become less. Right now, Fridays is all I can commit to right now. I put a little bit of planning in it. I use Notion templates. I have a stream outline that I use, and I put my resources in there, and I have notes on how to make a good stream segment and stuff to make it more vlog based, right? And that's what I do. And from that, I endeavor to do 2 segments. One's a vlog style, another's a gaming style. Obviously, blogging would be different, but you could do IRL streams and then edit them to fit the vlog format. And generally off of what I cover in the vlog, I come down here and I make a written item about it because it's fresh in my mind. And I do that with ChatGPT as my coach, right, to help me with the writing process. But I like writing, right? I just have certain writing strengths, and my writing strengths are more fantasy based, right? I'm more of a novelist and less of a like, oh, look at this blog post, right? So that's where I use the help of ChatGPT, especially O1 Mini is really good about helping me develop my ideas. And then I post those on X, LinkedIn, and Facebook and put those out there. I've been really bad about doing the shorts, and I think putting them out there and learning how these work is important, but spending the time to develop these sometimes doesn't work. And so that's why I like to preempt sound bites where I write down like a key point and I'm like, okay, I know if I say this, I'll recognize it in the editing process and I can quickly plop that over to a vertical timeline in DaVinci Resolve and include that in the render and schedule it. And that works, right? Beyond that, I'm not doing it too much. And I think, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about TikTok and shorts and all those things. I like to think of them as supplemental content, and I don't think the platforms like it when creators do that. I believe they want dedicated creators that will create in their vertical format, but they don't pay them well, and they don't what I'm looking for. It doesn't, the value proposition isn't there. In fact, it really does feel like when YouTube made the up to 3-minute shorts, it feels like they actually took a whole section of people that create content that's longer than a short but shorter than 5 minutes, and they basically said, we're not going to pay you what you could have made with ads with CPM. We're gonna pay you according to shorts, which is marketably horrible, as I've heard a lot of creators talk about. So personally, everyone's like, longer shorts. I'm like, wider profit margins is my take on it as an entrepreneur. And a few people discussed it, but nobody looked at YouTube and called them malicious for it. I think it was a malicious move, because I think a good portion of people just got marginalized, and now they have to make longer content. Like, maybe that doesn't matter as much as I'm thinking, but it is what it is, right? So, new digital product a month minimum. So last month we launched a second Hawaiian shirt, or no, it was a fourth Hawaiian shirt on the Oshman Clothes Printify pop-up, and we also launched the market research template on Patreon, and Patreon also has free Notion templates for anyone that wants to run over there and sign up for free. But if you do want to support, thank you very much in advance, and I'll be working those callouts into videos in the future. Spawn says, I'm the same, asked me to create an entire fictional world. I will put Elder Scrolls to shame, and I got you. Trying to write down anything about real topics, and it's a nightmare. My go-to right now is approach it like I'm talking about the topic on stream for 5 minutes, use AI to convert to text, fix the grammar, and then get ChatGPT to summarize it so I have guideline to work with. Exactly. AI is so useful for those sorts of things. And I believe as long as you, the heart of the creator, is in it, then it's perfectly fine, right? There's nothing wrong with using AI to help you nail a tone or rewrite something or what have you, right? And yeah, that's my approach to it. I think if you're not trying, then you're handicapping yourself, right? Because like you say, like, my imagination is one of my greatest strengths. So I want to be creating and working where I can use my imagination to its fullest in the storytelling aspect, right? So that's what I'm aiming to do. Makes a lot of sense. So you got to ask yourself, if you were to do this again, what would you do differently? I think that's the secret to a really good self-assessment, or an assessment that you're conducting on yourself, right? It's the same thing, I guess. So I would say I've definitely not been working on the smaller content, and then I've been allowing silly things like, I want this to be done a certain way in the gaming videos to affect my my time investment there, where I've been like, I don't want to work on it, right? Now, to my credit, I have clients, so when I work on their videos over one of these gaming videos, there's a direct monetary incentive. So that's not the worst thing in the world. It just means that I need to change the way I go about the gaming ones, so that they can be entertaining but still have the effort I want, which I think kind of brings us to the team. There's no reason to really go over the strategy expanded here. It's a good guideline to approach most things in life, right? See what you can use your imagination for. So, because I mean, it's kind of like reading a good story, right? When you're going over the review of your goals, you have your favorite parts, but you also have the parts that are going to take effort, and you don't want to skip to just the good parts. You got to go over the challenge that you, the main character, have to overcome in order to achieve the good part. So my team, right? the videographer in training, cameraman Steve, he might be here in chat. We'll see. Wave at us if you're in chat, Steve. He is also potentially gonna be doing like moderation on the channel. We'll see. He was in Twitch at some point in the Twitch chat. The research portion definitely is necessary, because this isn't just like research, this is like scripting, this is establishing trends, right? Trending topics. Definitely been neglected, and I felt that. And then the thumbnail design I think is impactful as well. The in-ear video, the 3 quotes video, I need to redesign that thumbnail because that video I believe is underperformed since I launched it because it has a really bland thumbnail. I really liked the thumbnail because I thought it was funny, but just because it's funny doesn't mean people are going to click on it. Hey, there he is. Everybody say hi to cameraman Steve. Yeah, thumbnail design is such a thing. It's the way to discuss that. Like, I know how to make a good thumbnail, but on that one, my mind went, oh my goodness. It was pretty fun. Oh, my time frame is still really good. No need to adjust my schedule. What I have soft done for the medium items, meaning my low edit vlog style videos, is I've been endeavoring to put those out on Monday or Tuesday. And that kind of gives me the weekend to work on them. I don't know if that's always realistic, right? But it is something I worked on. So we'll see how that goes. The which kind of leaves Thursday or Friday open for the other videos, which doesn't leave me a lot of time, especially because Monday and Tuesday I'm generally out in the evenings because I'm at church, and so I can't sync that into video editing, especially at more high octane video editing. The smaller distilled items, I did try scheduling with Canva. I don't know if it worked the way I thought it would, but I really haven't tested this a whole lot. And then the funding here, we are still looking to drum up Patreon sales, which means I need to bring more value to the Patreon and provide more interesting things. There is a coloring book that the files exist. I need to figure out where they are and put that together and make that for sale. And then I do have a product listed for sale on Patreon, but I'll need to enhance it with the new Notion features, which I have not done yet. I have an idea that I might be able to take and use certain things to make the research a little bit easier, but there's still, I think when you're doing good research, you're doing it directly because you can pick up on things that automation might gloss over or overrepresent or underrepresent, right? No monetization on YouTube just yet. Haven't seen any tips or donations. And clients has been our #1 source of income so far, which is fine. You know, the right client is still a really good source of income because you can work on the projects that you enjoy. Ideally, I'd like to see that be Patreon. So there's that. We haven't really done anything here. I have added a called an X subscription to this, so I can put that in here. X Pro stuff for main branch. So that is kind of mandatory if you want to use X in any kind of a professional income-based fashion, so that you can get access to all their stuff. I would almost consider getting their Pro Plus whatever sub if I was making money from that account, because of their radar feature that looks very interesting for watching trends and so on. X as a trend watching tool seems like it has utility, but I'd have to hear some other people that have experience in watching trends, see how they like it. So there's that, because I haven't seen any of the X posts pop off and get a lot of engagement just yet. So there is that. I haven't explored subcontracting any help like on Fiverr or anything. I hear people talking about this all the time. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of those things. I know people kind of normal for people, and I've even done work on Fiverr before, but it's just weird. It's weird when you're not used to doing it. Maybe I'm missing something, or maybe I'm being skeptical of it because I've tried to sell services on Fiverr and not had the pickup in business that I was expecting to get. To me, it's a weird value proposition to go and spend money on a platform I didn't make money from, when my purpose of being there initially was to find clients. But maybe that's just a me thing. So I'm gonna put out a thing to do this again, but in, we'll say the 13th. Yeah, because that's after everything. So on the 13th, and I'm gonna put this on the 12th so that I look at it the day before. Another month, we'll do another update on our challenge, see how we're doing. I would like to bring up, for the purposes of this, given the time frame that Black Friday is upon us. If you enjoyed hearing about that status update, then leave a like on the video, right? Go there right now, leave me a like. And if you wanted to take the Devin Nash challenge, the link is in the doobly-doo. Or join our Patreon for free. It is included in our free Notion templates on the Patreon. If you liked this video, you can see me take the Devin Nash challenge in this video right here. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful time.